Welcome back to another episode of Sim Sunday, and welcome to Parry Devco's Edinburgh version 2 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Edinburgh Airport. Information mic. 0750 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 24. Wind 240 at 10. Visibility 10. Broken at 2000. Temperature 16, dew point 12. QNH 1011. Transition level 80. Flight inspection aircraft operating near field. Expect possible delays. Advise on initial contact. You have information mic.
This video is due to publish at 2 AM on Sunday the 14th of June 2026, which is kick-off time for Scotland in their opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So what better way to introduce you to my favourite aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which is of course the Inibuilds Airbus A350. Edinburgh, good morning. EuroScot 3-1. Looking to pick up an IFR clearance to Boston Logan.
EuroScot 3-1, cleared to Boston via the Go Sam 1 Charlie departure. Climb 6,000, expect flight level 34010 minutes after departure. Squawk 5362, expect runway 24.
EuroScot 3-1, cleared to Boston via the Go Sam 1 Charlie departure. Initial climb to 6,000 feet. Expect flight level 340, and 10 minutes after departure, squawking 5362, and we're off runway 24 for EuroScot 3-1.
EuroScot 3-1, read back correct.
Sorry about the quality of sound in that initial radio call. And in this episode, I want to talk about Virtual Airlines in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And what a better way to do it than to really play with my imagination. On board this EuroScot Virtual Airlines flight from Edinburgh across to Boston Logan, where Scotland will be playing their first match at 2 AM on the 14th of June 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard EuroScot Virtual Airlines Flight 3-1, departing from Edinburgh and bound for Boston. My name is Erica McCormick, your lead flight attendant, and alongside my colleagues, we are here to ensure your comfort and safety throughout the journey. Please take your seats as indicated on your boarding passes and stow your hand luggage securely in the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. Should you require any assistance, do not hesitate to ask any member of our crew. Thank you for flying with EuroScot Virtual Airlines.
Of course, all cabin crew announcements and ATC in today's flight are presented by Say Intentions AI. And while this Inibuilds Airbus A350 might look very different in the cockpit, the flows and the setup are very similar to other Airbuses, including the Phoenix and FS Labs, which I've shown you in the previous 2 episodes. And right now, the aircraft is basically configured to go. The way Inibuilds have designed the EFB, it might look slightly different from the Phoenix or the FS Labs, but guys, it is extremely intuitive and easy to use. All doors are closed, and the jocks and APU have been removed. And just like in most so-called study-level aircraft in the sim, there is an excellent takeoff calculator, which is linked to the McDo automatically inputting all takeoff performance information. EuroScot 3-1, stand 15, ready for push and start, please.
EuroScot 3-1, push and start approved, face northwest.
Push to approved, face northwest.
Amazing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Doors and cross-check. Welcome aboard EuroScot Virtual Airlines Flight 3-1. We are en route to Boston with an estimated flight time of 6 hours and 10 minutes. Please pay close attention to the safety demonstration, important even for frequent flyers. Fasten your seatbelt low and tight, adjust as needed, and keep it fastened when the seatbelt sign is on. Return seat backs and tray tables to upright. Open window blinds for takeoff and landing. Set electronic devices to flight mode. Stow laptops during takeoff and landing. Smoking and e-cigarettes are prohibited. Oxygen masks drop automatically. Hold firmly, cover nose and mouth, breathe normally, secure your mask before assisting others. Life vests under your seat. Put on, fasten, inflate after leaving aircraft. Floor lighting guides to exits, all clearly marked. There are 8 exits on this A350-900. Nearest may be behind you. Leave belongings behind in evacuation. Follow crew instructions immediately. Inform crew if any device becomes hot or emits smoke. Safety card has full details. Thank you for your attention.
As you can see, pushback today is being provided by GSX Pro.
Unlocking gear.
Edinburgh ground EuroScot 3-1, request taxi to runway 24.
EuroScot 3-1, runway 24 taxi via Mike Alpha Delta.
Via Mike Alpha Delta runway 24. With the Iberia landing on runway 24, it's time for us to taxi to runway 24. And as in the last 2 videos, the taxi guidance is provided again by SayIntentions AI. And as I follow the KLM Boeing 737 towards the runway threshold here at Edinburgh, I do want to say that I'm soon going to hand over the ATC to Two-Tone Murphy. Those of you who follow Flightsim YouTube videos will no doubt have watched some of Two-Tone Murphy's videos. And since neither the Republic of Ireland or Northern Ireland qualified for this year's FIFA World Cup, I thought it was a bit of a dig in the chops to the Irish, of course, one of which am I. Anyway, Murph is a very funny guy and a massive supporter of SayIntentions. And of course, using AI, SayIntentions recreated Murph's dulcet tones. Can you take over the ATC, please?
I've got the radios now, Graham. Let's get this show on the road.
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff.
Copy, Captain. Cabin is secure, and crew are taking seats now.
Alright, Graham, I've got the request for departure with Edinburgh Tower. Let's get ready to roll.
Edinburgh Tower, EuroScot Virtual Airlines Flight 3-1, holding short at runway 24, ready for takeoff.
EuroScot 3-1 heavy, Edinburgh Tower, runway 24, winds 240 at 10, cleared for takeoff.
On 121.205, EuroScot 3-1. Edinburgh departure, EuroScot 3-1. Good morning, climbing through 2000.
The Inibuilds Airbus A350 is a joy to fly in the sim. I love flying the A319s, the 320s and the 321s, but the A350 is simply a 21st century version of those aircraft ultimately designed back in the 1980s. So I've got no idea why the default Airbuses in the sim, which were also developed by Inibuilds, are so bad. And don't worry, I will be discussing that topic in a future episode. With Livingston in West Lothian and the M8 motorway below us, we're westbound now, heading towards the New World.
EuroScot 31, climb flight level 260.
Climb flight level 260. EuroScot 31.
You might be wondering why I've allocated flight number 31 to this particular EuroScot service across to Boston Logan. Well, that's what the experts tell me is the score to expect in the football match 3-1 to Scotland against Haiti. I've never had any interest in football, so quite honestly guys, I've got no idea what to expect from this opening Scotland match in Boston on June the 14th.
EuroScot 31, climb flight level 300.
Climbing flight level 300. EuroScot 31.
EuroScot 31, climb flight level 340.
Climbing flight level 340. EuroScot 31.
Scottish EuroScot 31, can we amend our cruise altitude to flight level 380 please?
EuroScot 31, climb flight level 380.
Climbing flight level 380. EuroScot 31.
As we climb out over the west coast of Scotland towards our initial cruise altitude of flight level 380 or 38,000 feet, I want to tell you that I currently fly with 4 Virtual Airlines. Because I live in Scotland, EuroScot is obviously one of my favourites. Flying imaginary routes between Scotland and mainly Europe. This is the first time I've flown from Scotland across the Atlantic in Flightsim 2024. I'm also a bronze crew member of Osprey Airlines, an English-based virtual airline run by a fantastic guy called Luke, who runs fairly regular live flights on VATSIM. I do try to join the odd one, but I don't always manage to do it due to time constraints. And when I'm flying virtually in North America, I like to fly with Echo Airlines in the United States and Canada Air in Canada, of course. The beautiful thing about a virtual airline is you can really fly wherever your imagination takes you. You're limited by the aircraft you have in your virtual hangar, of course. So if I fancy flying a short route between 2 destinations in Europe or North America flown by aircraft that I don't have in the sim, I simply use a virtual airliner and choose the aircraft I want to fly. Most virtual airlines also have a connection with NewSky, so you can record the stats for each of your flight in the sim, something I don't do, I'm afraid, guys. So in today's imaginary flight on board imaginary virtual airline EuroScot en route from Edinburgh across to Boston in Massachusetts, I've configured this service with 320 passengers, all heading to watch Scotland's opening match with Haiti. And I can only imagine the amount of Tennent's lager and innocent gun that's been consumed down the back on this relatively short hop across the pond between Scotland and Massachusetts in the US. The last thing that I want to talk about when flying in a virtual airline is of course the community. A community of like-minded flight simmers enjoying their hobby as you do yours. A lot of the virtual airlines also have Discord servers where you can chat with like-minded flight simmers, and most with a lot more experience in the sims than I do. So in my experience, virtual airlines are a great place to get support and your questions answered. So as I make my way across the North Atlantic here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, I strongly recommend anyone involved in Flight Sim to join a virtual airline.
Scottish Control, Delta 136, flight level 390.
Delta 136, radar contact.
Scottish Control, Ice Air 8 Kilo, flight level 340.
ICER 8 Kilo, radar contact. United 317, descend and maintain flight level 230, cleared for the Olapo 4 Lima arrival into Dublin.
Descending to flight level 230, cleared for the Olapo 4 Lima arrival into Dublin, United 317.
EuroScot 31, contact Shanwick Oceanic on 127.65, squawk 2000.
Contacting Shanwick Oceanic on 127.65, squawk 2000, EuroScot 31. Shanwick Oceanic departure, EuroScot 31 Heavy. Good morning, maintaining flight level 380.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, Shanwick Oceanic departure identified. Get with.
I have to admit that I don't think much of the Say Intentions AI ATC accents, something that Beyond ATC are a lot better at. And you know what, guys, that's probably another video where I look at Beyond ATC versus Say Intentions. At this point in the flight, we're about 3/4 of the way across the Atlantic, and in the flight management computer, or the McDo as it's known in Airbus speak, that flight level 400 is optimum for efficiency. Gander Oceanic EuroScot 31, request flight level 400.
EuroScot 31, climb flight level 400.
Climbing flight level 400, EuroScot 31.
Current position is November 56 Whiskey 050. Next waypoint is going to be Juliet Alpha November Juliet Oscar, and we're going to reach that waypoint at 1539 Zulu.
And with the aircraft climbing to 40,000 feet, this will be our final altitude en route down to Boston this morning.
EuroScot 31, contact Moncton Center on 134.35.
Contacting Moncton Center on 134.35, EuroScot 31 Heavy. Moncton Center, EuroScot 31, and good morning, with your flight level 400.
Scott 31, expect the Ocean 5 arrival, AJ transition. I'll have you descending in about 20 minutes.
Expecting the Ocean 5 arrival, AJJ transition, EuroScot 31.
Air Transat 175, radar contact.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, descend via Ocean 5 to 5000 AJJ, transition into Boston, altimeter 3000.
Descend via Ocean 5 to 5000, AJJ transition into Boston, altimeter 3000, EuroScot 31 Heavy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have left our cruising altitude and started our approach to Boston. Please return to your seats, stow your tray tables, and fasten your seatbelts. For your safety, the lavatories are now unavailable for use. Thank you for your cooperation.
I think it's a bit early to be putting the lavatories out of use, but hey guys, that's Say Intentions for you. We're now descending towards Boston Logan. And And all shipping that you will see in my videos is provided by Seaward Simulations Global Shipping.
Boston approach, Delta 2828, 9,000.
28 radar contact.
Boston approach, Delta 2436, 5,000. 121.125 for Frontier Flight 3347.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, contact Boston Tower on 128.8.
Contacting Boston Tower on 128.8. EuroScot 31 Heavy. Boston Tower, EuroScot 31 Heavy. Good morning, established on the ILS runway 22 left approach.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, Boston Tower, roger, continue approach, runway 22 left. EuroScot 31 Heavy, runway 22 left, winds 280 at 7, cleared to land.
Runway 22 left, clear to land, EuroScot 31 Heavy.
Approaching runway 22 left.
Retard, 10, 5.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, contact ground on 121.75.
Auto brake off.
Switching to ground on 121.75, EuroScot 31 Heavy. Boston ground, EuroScot 31 Heavy. Good morning, cleared of runway, ready to taxi to the gate.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, Boston ground, taxi to gate E15B via Charlie, hold short of runway 4 left, good day.
Bravo via Charlie, hold short of runway 4 left. EuroScot 31 Heavy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boston. Did you know that Boston is home to the oldest public park in the United States? Boston Common, established in 1634. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we have reached the final parking position at the gate. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with EuroScot Virtual Airlines. The current local time in Boston is 10:41 a.m. For those with connecting flights, please note the following departures. Flight 247 to New York City.
EuroScot 31 Heavy, cross runway 4 left, then continue taxi via Bravo, Lima, Alpha.
And flight 568
cross runway 4 left, then Bravo, Lima, Alpha. EuroScot 31 Heavy.
Thank you for your attention.
This, guys, is Fly Tampa Boston for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024, which I bought and downloaded, regrettably, from the Microsoft Marketplace here in Flightsim. As the scenery developers update their software On the marketplace, it's extremely slow to receive updates. The net result, as 2020 scenery gets updated to 2024, I've just tended to wait until there's offers available on Contrail, Inistore or Orbix and just reorder the airport scenery from one of those more reliable stores, which you can rely on scenery updates coming through much quicker and faster than you do on the marketplace. I've flown into this particular version of Flytampa's Boston many times, but only on a domestic flight, so I've never been to this part of the airport, which is of course the international side. And I have to admit, guys, it does look very good indeed.
1 runway 22 right taxi via Quebec, Bravo, November, hold short of runway 15 right.
Ground Delta 2828, taxi to the gate.
Delta 2828, taxi to parking via Kilo Echo.
Kilo Echo Delta 2828. Brickyard 4760, request push and start.
Brickyard 4760, pushback approved, no conflicting traffic. Via Kilo Bravo Lima Alpha.
Right, time to get the doors open and the passengers and bags off. And there you go, guys, we've made another successful transatlantic crossing in Flightsim 2024. And while I edit this video, I've got absolutely no idea how Scotland got on against Haiti in their opening game. Whatever the outcome, I want to take this opportunity to wish my adopted home country, of course Scotland, their football players, and of course their fans as they enjoy the FIFA 2026 World Cup. But back to this video, and the topic of this episode of course being virtual airliners in Flight Simulator. I hope this video gives you an insight into my imaginative world in flight sim when I'm flying with Virtual Airlines. In the next 2 episodes, I'm going to look at my 2 least favourite aircraft in the simulator. So guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon to be notified when my next video is published. So until then, thank you so much for watching.